with the pandemic, brought wrestlers to, I mean, let's call it for what it is. A lot of wrestlers had time to either gain a lot of weight or gain a lot of muscle, which pretty much made them gain weight because they had, 8 months to do. I mean, they didn't have a lot going on, right? So all they could do was train, or, in some cases, eat. Hopefully, the second one is not what a lot of them went through. So what are some of the weight changes that happened this season? First, I want to mention at 125 pounds, I'm going to go 125 up to heavyweight. And spoiler alert, there actually weren't any big heavyweight changes that I have to talk about. So 125, Cody Russell of App State dropped down from 133 pounds, multiple-time national qualifier. He'll be trouble in the SoCon at App State. Cody Russell, tough wrestler. 133, Brandon Patesel of Lehigh was at 125 last season, bumped up to 133. Now he's a top 10 ranked wrestler, multiple-time national qualifier, and he did well at EIWAs last year. And I expect that to happen again this year, considering especially that a lot of the teams in the EIWAs are unfortunately not wrestling. And then, I mean, this is the biggest weight change. This is the biggest weight change there is. It's number one, Sebastian Rivera. Sebastian Rivera is bumping up from 133 to 141 pounds. He was at 125 a couple seasons ago, was able to beat Spencer Lee. Last season, bump up to 133, beat, an impressive victory against Roman Bravo Young in the Big Ten championships. And he became a Big Ten champion. The whole New Jersey, and now he's at New Jersey, now he's at Rutgers, and now he's at 141 pounds. The two-time All-American will be wrestling 141, and I think he's going to be trouble at 141, and I don't think anybody's saying differently, right? But at 149, there are quite a few weight change rumors going around, but this is what's official right now. Top 20 ranked wrestler Josh Heil moved up from 141 to 149. He had wrestled 149 a couple seasons ago, did very well at 149, but Josh Heil, the 3-time SoCon champ, 3-time national qualifier, I'll be looking for him to All-American this year, as well as, unfortunately, did start the season with a loss against Bryce Andonian, but Andonian is a tough wrestler from Virginia Tech. Max Murin also bumped up. Murin really didn't have a choice, right? Ironman came in. I believe Ironman is... he probably made Murin bump up because Ironman is a better wrestler. At least that's what it seems like from everything going on. Or he could have just been doing it for the team, Murin being there. Multiple-time national qualifier, made the round of 12. I think he is another guy who's going to be on the stand this year. And then Michael Blockus of Minnesota. So a couple of these guys, it seems like 141 or 149 is just a big weight change with a lot of different guys bumping up to that weight this year. Michael Blockus, unfortunately, started the season with a loss to Brock Hardy of Nebraska, but Blockus, the transfer from UNI, was 22-10 last season, and I think he'll bounce back from that loss against Hardy. I think Hardy's just that tough wrestler. At 157, Brayton Lee. Brayton Lee of Minnesota at 149 pounds. Or was at 149 pounds, is now up to 157. Was a national qualifier, and at one point was the number one ranked wrestler. There was a lot going on at 149 last year with Sammy Sasso, with Pat Lugo, with Austin O'Connor, and then Brayton Lee was, even though he didn't wrestle a lot of these guys, he was able to get into the, he was able to get in there. So that's kind of what happened there. Now we have to get into 165 pounds, and at 165 pounds is Anthony Valencia. So, like I said, we saw a lot of guys kind of going up a weight, but Anthony Valencia is the guy who's going down a weight. Anthony Valencia went from 174 down to 165, was 35-7, then 27-10 at 165 pounds, made the round 12 and round 16. He's just one of these guys that's due to All-American. He is due to get on the stand this year. I mean, I truly believe that he's due. He'll get his due this year. At 165 pounds, we'll see. This may be his weight. He's a top 5 wrestler. Peyton Robb and Austin Kreiser are 2 top 25 wrestlers. Austin Kreiser of Campbell is bumping down. He's another guy bumped down from 174 last year, now at 165. Peyton Robb was down at 157. He was an excellent Big Ten tournament last year. Lost to Sparks of Minnesota in his season debut, which wasn't a great look for him, but I still think he's somebody who can rebound this year. At 174, Logan Massa is a guy who's bumping up from 165. Has had a dominant season so far, and I think that's something that will only continue against Rutgers, against Maryland. Just has been a dominant wrestler, scoring, I believe, major decisions, possibly in both of those matches. And he was an All-American at 165. He placed third, and I think although he took his Olympic red shirt last year and he made the round of 12 before that, I mean, he is just somebody who is he'll get his due this year, and he's a top contender, top 3 guy at 174. Emil Solin, as well as Bailey O'Reilly. Solin of Purdue and O'Reilly of Minnesota are 2 guys who will also be, Solin, the reason I want to mention him is I think him bumping up to 174 just really makes Purdue tougher. With Ninehouse at 165, with Lyon at 184, Solin fits right in there for Purdue, and I think it's a tough lineup, and I think they're going to compete in the Big Ten. Now, let's talk about 184. At 184, a couple guys. Miles Amin bumping up from 174, now at 184. 3-time All-American, the only 3-time All-American on this list. Interestingly enough, I mean, there aren't a whole lot of All-Americans on this list, and I think, obviously, that has to come into some sort of effect, is like, did these guys All-American add another weight, and that could be why they're bumping up. Could just be they're gaining a lot of muscle. Could see they're seeing where guys are shifting, so that's kind of happened, right? And I think that's where we see a couple of these guys. Now, Miles Amin, I mean, this is a guy, Michigan's lineup is just tough, and with him at 184 now, I mean, unbelievable. Winning records at every single year, he All-American, 4th, 3rd, and 30th placed, and obviously looking for a national title this year. Okie State, a lot of new guys in the lineup, but one guy who is bumping up this year, or who is bumping down this year, is Dakota Gear, bumping down from 197 last season, was an All-American at 184. He placed 7th, so how is he going to do at 184 pounds now? I mean, arguably could do better. Sam Colbury of Iowa State, another guy who is bumping up from 174 pounds of Iowa State. Again, like some of these other teams, like Michigan, like Purdue I talked about, Colbury is just making Iowa State that much tougher of a team. 197, a couple guys I want to talk about. Billy Janzer of Rutgers, Jelani Embry of Michigan, and then Ohio State has either Chief Singletary or Gavin Hoffman, both guys who are bumping down. Hoffman's kind of been all over the map, but Singletary and Hoffman actually wrestled off this past week, and if you missed my video about the Ohio State wrestle-off, you can make sure to check that out, the Big Ten Tuesday video. But Hoffman won the wrestle-off in overtime in a tight match at 197 pounds, and we'll see what happens for Ohio State, and we'll see how each of these guys competes. Please let me know in the comments, which weight change are you most stoked about? I'm sure most of you will be stoked about the Sebastian Rivera weight change, but there are a lot of other guys who are kind of shifting up and down that I'm interested to hear your take on. If you like this clip and are looking for more wrestling news and discussion, I recommend that you check out the full Fanco Wrestling Show podcast, which is live on this YouTube channel every single week. You can click here to subscribe to be notified of new and upcoming videos, or you can check out the Fanco Wrestling Show on your favorite podcasting platform to listen on the go. Stop stalling and start listening today.